Official first speech since becoming a senator. There are a lot of firsts right now. This is an interesting time. We have an incoming governor. We have 69 new legislators out of a body of 188. That's a lot. 11 new senators and 58 new members of the House of Delegates. So these first few weeks have been kind of frantically crazy with trying to get computers, get business cards, get phones that actually take voicemail. So it's been interesting. We haven't had any of that going yet, but slowly each day we get surprises. We got envelopes yesterday. We don't have letterhead yet, but we have envelopes. So we're getting there. This is a really important time to be involved in our community. So the first thing I really want to lead with, other than thank you to Agnes and your amazing staff, is thank you to all of the volunteers. Thank you to all of you for being leaders in our community and stepping up in such an important way for those who need it most. One of my pet peeves, and unfortunately as a grammar geek and stuff, I do have to admit that I do have several pet peeves, but when people say, "Oh, I'm just a volunteer," don't ever say that about yourself. "Oh, I'm just a parent," when they say at a PTA meeting, or "I'm just a whatever." You are never just. If you are here in this room tonight, whether or not you have a certificate or a framed fancy award, you are not just. You are a leader, and you are important, and you are making a difference with your time, with your donation of any number of dollars. Thank you for the difference that you're making to make Rockville and Montgomery County a fantastic place to live and work and raise a family. So please just recognize yourself before I go on a little bit further. So thank you. What CMR does every day needs to be transmitted to the whole world. So if you are on Twitter and you haven't been tweeting, they're at CM Rockville. And I'm at Cheryl Kagan, and I've been tweeting tonight. I'm not texting a girlfriend or anything. I am tweeting to try to spread the great word of all the good work. And the hashtag for tonight is CMR15 hashtag. If you're doing that, you can check that out also. We've got to be advocates. In these hard times, with budget cuts and with down economy, with people struggling to make ends meet, we have got to get the word out. My colleagues, when I was in the House of Delegates, my colleagues still believed, and I suspect I will learn this in the Senate too, that they still think that Montgomery County is a place where everyone is rich, white, two-parent households, they're all doctors and lawyers, and the streets are paved in gold. So if you guys missed that memo, you're out of touch, right? It is part of my job, I think, to educate my colleagues and educate people from around the state that Montgomery County, yes, we do have affluence, and yes, we do have some phenomenal employers and opportunities and arts and so much here that it makes it a great place to live. But we also have a lot of challenges, and organizations like the Community Ministries of Rockville help address those challenges, and all of you help deal with that. We have people who don't speak English. We have people who don't have homes. We have kids and adults who don't have enough food. And you guys are helping address that. And there's so many other needs. The numbers, if you look at housing, and a lot of us have worked on housing needs over the years, there are people who can live in lots of other parts of the state, who can live on a legislator's salary. I assure you, in Montgomery County, it's not possible. In Baltimore County, an apartment, a two-bedroom apartment, can be found for $800 to $1,200 a month. Wouldn't that be cool if we could find that here, right? Not possible. 2 to 3 times as much here in Montgomery County. We have to teach people about our needs, health care needs. There are 55,000 Montgomery County residents who have gotten health care as a result of the Affordable Care Act. We've got to make sure that these laws are protected and continued. These are making a difference in people's lives. Governor Hogan, and we are in a nonpartisan setting, so I'm not speaking Democrat, Republican, or anything, but the reality is that his proposed budget is going to be a challenge for a lot of people. and we have to speak out. A 2% across the board budget cut for every department is going to cause hardships for a lot of people. It's not responsible budgeting. We've got to figure out where the cuts should come. We've got to be strategic. We do have to be fiscally responsible. We do constitutionally have to have a balanced budget. But we've got to be strategic and compassionate as to where those budget cuts need to come. We've got to make sure that we've got roads and schools and infrastructure that will make businesses and small businesses want to come to Montgomery County so that they can establish their families and keep our economy strong. But we've got to care for those who have needs, whether that's those with disabilities, whether that's those with mental health needs, the homeless, the hungry. We've got to look out for them too in our budget. An average of about 75,000 people in Montgomery County experience hunger or food insecurity. That's not what my colleagues would believe. Daycare centers. Do you know that in Rockville, there's an average cost, if you're a working parent, goodness knows whether it's a one-parent household or two parents working, it costs an average of $15,000 for childcare in Montgomery County, versus a year of tuition at Montgomery College is a third of that. What does that say about our priorities? We've got to make sure that our budget and our priorities are reflecting our values. Your Emergency Assistance Lifeline provides support to over 1,500 people a year, in addition to everything that the Caseman Health Clinic and all the other work that Jim and Agnes and Troy described. ESL has tripled over the last dozen years. We are so lucky to have this melting pot in Montgomery County. And I feel very lucky because I get to practice my French and my Spanish as I campaigned and as I'm in the community. But it is more expensive to teach students for whom English is not their primary language and isn't spoken at home. We've got to have smaller classrooms and more one-on-one and better support. That's expensive. And that support is not being provided, especially in an era of budget cuts. The elderly, we want folks to age in place. That takes support to make sure that they're safe in their home, that if they've got any signs of dementia or are vulnerable to scams or financial, challenges or people trying to take advantage of them. We've got to have an infrastructure and support for them in that. The nonprofit sector is vital. You all are the key component that is the connecting point between government and for-profit companies. We've got to have the nonprofit sector as our partners. I am committed, as Agnes says, I have a nonprofit advisory group. I want to be a spokesman for this sector and for all of you who care so deeply about the work of CMR and surely other nonprofits as well serving our population. We need to make sure that government works for nonprofits because nonprofit sector helps our people and frankly saves government money, saves taxpayer money, because everything that you all do would otherwise either be not provided or need to be provided with government assistance at the federal, state, county, or municipal level. Our partners here, the mayor and council are here. Chuck Short was here from Ike Leggett's office. I can't see where he is right now. We honor you and we look forward to working with you. We work closely with Congressman Van Hollen and Congressman Delaney to make sure that our federal partners are reaching out and understanding our needs here in this area. So with that, I don't want to take lots of your time, but I'm grateful for your support. And I'm really excited to present my very first citation. So Troy, Agnes, and Jim, why don't the three of you all come up if that's the right three?